Hello YouTube and YouTube subscribers. Today I'm going to be doing a species profile on the guppy, also known as the millions fish, scientific name Poecilia reticula. Now the guppy is a live-bearing fish. This is the most popular live bearer in the hobby. Other popular live bearers include the platy and the various species of mollies, as well as the swordtails. And there's a few other rare types such as mosquito fish and lamias, I think they're pronounced, that's how you pronounce it, which are all closely related. They're all in the same family. There's other families of live bearers too, but I won't be getting into those today. Now the guppy is usually listed as a tropical fish, but it's tropical fish with an asterisk. In nature, they tend to occur in the Caribbean, Central America, and in South America. They don't necessarily need that high temperatures. Usually, the ideal temperature range for them is usually 18 to 26 degrees. Now, because they're a live-bearing fish, and actually this affects pretty much all fish, the water temperature affects the gestation rate of the eggs. So if you're keeping your guppies at, say, 18 degrees instead of, say, 26 degrees, you'll notice that the females will gestate their eggs for a longer period of time, and the fish will tend to grow a bit slower. Now, at higher temperatures, the fish will develop really fast, much faster, and grow quicker. But there's an ideal range. Usually if you start going to extreme temperatures, for example, some fish farmers, what they'll do, will keep their guppies at 37 or so degrees. And what that does is it decreases the gestation period really substantially. But what happens is you tend to have more occurrences of deformity, such as this. This female was bought at store, and you can see that deformity in her spine, simply because the fish develop too fast in their young. And what also happens is it shortens their overall lifespan. That's the reason why a lot of store-bought guppies never really live more than 6 months or so, when they can in fact actually live about 2 years if raised under ideal conditions. Now the guppy is a hardwater fish. Like a lot of other live bearers, it does not do well in soft water. And in this tank, what I've done is, this water is naturally soft. What I did was I added limestone pebbles in the sand, and I guess they're kind of just slowly dissolving over time, and that's what's keeping the water hardness of this tank up. This tank is definitely harder than my other tanks, and the pH is probably also a bit higher. So I'll make sure your water is alkaline and the water is also hard. Do not keep them in soft water. They won't live very long under those conditions. Now, in terms of gender differences, it's obvious in guppies. The males are brighter colored. They have a much larger caudal fin in relation to their body size. Their dorsal fin is also kind of flowing. In captivity, due to selective breeding, there's some variants of the caudal fin that I don't think I'm even going to post pictures of that, because there's so much variation in that will just take up too many slides. But the male is smaller, more colorful, slimmer body. They also have a gonopodium, which basically functions as a sperm depositor that they use for internal fertilization. You can see right here, this male, he's following the female around because he's trying to internally fertilize her, just to keep it simple, like that. And another thing also about guppy reproduction is the females, they can store sperm. So what happens is, you can have a female mate once and then remove her from male contact. And over the course of 6 months, she can keep producing batches of fry on a monthly basis, simply because the stored sperm is kept inside her body, and her ovaries actually produce sugars that feed the sperm that she stores. And that's another reason why you can have fry coming from the same female, being birthed at the same time, that have multiple fathers, when it's actually the most recent male and made with the female that produces the most offspring with her. Now, in terms of tank size, I recommend keeping the guppy in the 10-gallon plus. Usually in a tank, they can quickly overwhelm the tank with fry. For example, this 20-gallon tank actually had more fry when my dad had it at school, and he actually had to give some of the fry away. And the population here is still growing. You can even look around, you can see like little guys like this guy were born at the start of July, and there's other ones like that are more like these guys. Are probably from mid-June or so, and they keep reproducing. Like this one here is almost full grown. Well, he's not full grown, he's fully developed male, and he's a different father from some of the other males in here, like this guy over here, obviously. So I'd say 10-gallon minimum, but usually you're going to end up having to upgrade to a 20-gallon minimum unless you want to remove fry constantly. And another thing is, if you're going to keep guppies and you don't want them to overwhelm your tank, you could add a fry control species. From what I heard, gudgeons work quite well. Betas can work quite well too, but betas may attack your male guppies too. Dwarf cichlids work fairly well too for keeping guppy populations down. Most community fish will actually eat guppy fry too, but some of them just aren't that effective at catching the guppy fry. If you want a really effective way to breed guppies, what I'd recommend is keeping the females in a tank that's just loaded with Java moss, and the fry will hide inside the Java moss, and they'll eat little organisms that develop on the Java moss and that. But in terms of feeding the fry can eat pretty much anything the adults can, as long as it's crumpled up, or use a special liquid fry food. Now, I keep going on about taking care of guppy, but it's a really easy fish to figure out and to take care of. So I'm going to just cut off right here, and I'll add some slides in. So thanks for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe.